have a quorum here. We'll start with the approval of the minutes of the last meeting, April 30th. I hope everyone's had a chance to review them. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes? Jackie, thank you. Second by Jackie. And any additions, subtractions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved. First item is recognitions today. Right?
Yeah, we have one, yeah. Come on in. Hey, Jonathan's one of our Albany operators, and he's celebrating 20 years of service today. So Jonathan was working at a floor cleaning company when one day, now this is Scherzer, Kelly, you guys are gonna love this. One day, he and a few of his coworkers saw an ad in the Times Union for a job fair at CDTA. He went to CDTA, filled out an application, and during his interview said, I already have a job, but I'm looking for a career. And he was hired on the spot.
Yes.
So, yeah, so we're all very excited to hear that. That's how it's supposed to work.
Yes.
Yeah. So Jonathan started in System 1 and drove the 11, and he currently drives the 10 and the 12, which services Western and Washington Avenues. He says his favorite part of the job is helping his customers get to their destinations. He says he enjoys teaching them how to better navigate the CDTA system and get to their destination efficiently. Over the last 20 years, Jonathan says the biggest change he has seen is to the buses. He remembers when you had to scroll by hand your destination signs. And he says the buses have better ramps now as well and better capabilities for customers in wheelchairs. He says his favorite CDTA memory is when all of the operators would gather around in the break room and play dominoes. He said everyone would have a good time and it would create good camaraderie. What's kept Jonathan here for the past 20 years is that he truly enjoys the job, and he says that the pay and the benefits are nice as well. In his spare time, he loves to fish, spend time with his family, and travel. As for retirement, not on the horizon just yet, which is a good thing for us. But congratulations on 20 years, and thank you for your service.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're my very first official recognition of this. I need some advice from you on all that. Thank you so much.
Next item up are committee reports, and I will start with the Board Operations Committee that convened on May 14th. We have a consent agenda item this month, which will sound familiar. It is a requirement by the Federal Transit Administration for the board's authorization designating a signatory for FTA grant awards. The resolution designates Frank Anacaro, our CEO, as the person who the board is naming to execute all FTA grant awards. So I need a motion to approve the resolution. Pete, thank you. Second by Mike. We've done this a couple times already this year, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's approved. Thank you. We also previewed the agendas for May's committee meetings and today's board meeting. It's a busy month for us and staff, and I'm told June will be equally busy. Lisa Morello updated the committee on New York State's $254 billion budget that was adopted earlier this month. The budget increased state operating assistance for the 12th consecutive year with a 5% boost for this fiscal year. Since this is less than CDTA's approved budget, we will have a budget deficit that needs to be addressed in the coming months, so there's more to come on this. There's also $245 million in non-MTA capital funding, so we'll be looking to tap into this funding to support our capital requirements. Lisa says that with 4 weeks remaining on the state legislature schedule, there's a potential for state budget cuts in an extended session to deal with what's happening in Washington. Next meeting of the Board Operations Committee is Wednesday, June 11th, right here at 110 Waterville Avenue at 9:15 a.m. Any questions on that? Next up, Peter Wall with the Performance Monitoring Committee.
All right, well, as you can see, there's a lot that we have to cover today, so put on your
Can't
seatbelt.
wait to hear from you.
I won't freestyle, we're good. I'll start with the audit committee. Seth entered from Lumsden and McCormick presented a draft year-end audit for 2025. We received a clean opinion with no findings or weaknesses, and I think that's always something to celebrate. Lumsden reviewed their approach along with our communications and the balance sheet. The presentation was included in your packets, so we need a motion to approve the draft fiscal year 2025 financial statements and compliance summary prepared by Lumsden and McCormick.
So moved.
Thank you, Denise. Second by Jackie McDonough. Any questions about the audit? Got a very well
Yeah.
detailed presentation at the committee meeting. All those in favor of the budget or the audit for the for 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's approved.
Excellent. Now on to consent agenda items. It's necessary to replace the trench drains and concrete surface in the Albany Division Bus Storage House. The lowest bidder was LaChase Construction Services. LaChase previously completed the garage expansion project at 110 Waterley Avenue. We are very satisfied with their work. Additional references were checked and were deemed satisfactory. So we need a motion to approve a one-year contract for bus storage, floor resurfacing and trench drain replacement with LaChase Construction Services for an amount not to exceed, this is including the contingency, $3,589,000 and $200. So $3,589,200.
Can I get a motion on that?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mike. Second by Jackie Palatico. Any questions on that? All those in favor of retaining LaChase, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion's approved.
All right, it's necessary to upgrade the latest version of our call center software and migrate it from on-prem to the cloud to provide better performance and integration with Microsoft Teams. A sole source renewal is recommended due to the proprietary nature of the system and the vendor's familiarity with CDTA requirements, also resulting in no net increase in vendors. This allows for an overall 5% year-over-year decrease in maintenance costs. So we need a motion to approve a 3-year contract with E-Group of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina for renewal of the telecommunications support contract and call center software upgrade for a total not to exceed $271,052.
Jackie McDonough, thank you. Denise, second. Again, any questions, comments on? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved.
All right, the existing maintenance and support agreement with SPX Genfair for a revenue collection system expires in April of 2026. Overall, CDTA has been very satisfied with their products and services. A sole source renewal is recommended because Genfair Link system is proprietary, which prevents us from pursuing another means to license, support, and maintain our existing system with another vendor. Pricing represents an average annual increase of 3%. So we need a motion to approve a 5-year contract with SPX Genfair of Elk Grove Village, Illinois for the purchase of software licensing, support, and maintenance for the amount not to exceed $1,327,679.
You got a motion on that? Thank you, Jackie, second by Dave. Another extension of contract with Genfair. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is approved.
Okay, we're almost there. Last year, we began an artificial intelligence based program that aims to improve the efficiency of our shelter crews for the maintenance of 3,000 plus stop locations. Actually, just a little editorial, it's really cool. We would like to engage in a 9-month follow-up project that delivers a prototype dashboard and data-driven workflow for scheduling bus shelter maintenance and refine CDTA's custom AI model for detecting shelter conditions such as garbage, broken glass, graffiti, snow captured by on-bus sensors. So we need a motion to approve a 9-month sole source contract with CTG Albany of Albany, New York for data analytics and computer vision services in an amount not to exceed $113,636.
Got a motion on that, Denise, thank you. Second by Georgie. My recollection of this is that this is an extension of a pilot project. Private program?
And this is basically condition monitoring. What this does is it won't use our existing cameras, it'll actually use, an additional camera for now. But it'll be able to actually, it's machine learning and it'll report the condition of the bus stops back to the team. Now we will be able to essentially deploy our teams to where it needs it most rather than just repeating every day, looking at each stop over and over and evaluating condition as we get there. So it has some good promise and it's really called condition monitoring. So, we'll see how it goes, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Chris Destiny all over.
Yeah.
Hands are dirty.
That's awesome.
All those in favor of resolution 26, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's approved.
Awesome, great. The fleet replacement plan calls for annual vehicle purchases and disposal of vehicles that have reached the end of their useful life. In 2022, the board awarded Gillig LLC a 5-year contract to purchase 40-foot diesel buses, understanding that future purchases will require board approval. Current pricing represents a 5.2% increase in vehicle costs from last year. Gillig notified CDTA that there may be a cost increase due to impending tariffs. Therefore, a 10% contingency per vehicle has been added to account for the potential tariffs. So, Mr. Chair, we need a motion to approve the purchase of 14 40-foot diesel buses from Gillig for a total not to exceed $9,969,170.
Dave, thank you. Second by Jackie Falatico. Buying more buses from Gillig. Any questions, comments on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Awesome. The fleet replacement plan calls for an annual vehicle purchases and disposal of vehicles that have reached the end of their useful life. In 2022, the board awarded a 5-year contract to purchase paratransit buses from Coach and Equipment with the understanding that future purchases will require board approval. The current pricing represents a 5% increase in vehicle costs from last year. We will add a 10% contingency per vehicle to account for potential tariffs. So we need a motion to purchase the 6 paratransit vehicles from Coach and Equipment Bus Sales of Pena, New York, for a total of not more than $987,709.
Denise, thank you. Jackie McDonough, second. Questions, comments?
Are these purchases to be made over the next 5 years, a certain number each year? For this one and the last one? Sorry.
So I can take that if you want me to.
Sure.
So when we do these RFPs, we say we're going to purchase up to 25, perhaps for the paratransit, and a little bit more for the 40-foot, and then we pretty consistent. 6 a year generally for paratransit, and between 12 and 15 for the 40-foot consistently. And there have been a few outliers several years back when we had some major funding where we did a much bigger Gillig purchase, but that's very unusual.
Thanks.
Yep.
Dare I ask if we speed up some of the purchase to prevent some of the tariffs in the future?
It's a good question.
Well, we can look at it, yeah, certainly. See how close we are to, where the savings is versus, if we replace them early, right, with the life cycle. What we don't wanna do is have too many buses here with buses that we still have life left and then supporting those buses. But certainly if we're close, it makes a lot of sense. So take a look at it.
Deficit problems.
10%, it's a lot.
Maintenance issues, like down the road, they're gonna, in terms of the life cycle of the bus, we've been on a regular cycle of replacing buses so that we're not replacing a whole bunch all at once in the future.
Right, yeah, we would have to essentially, just get right back onto that schedule, right? But again, if, I think procurements are not an exact science, so if we see that there's opportunity that within a few months wise to push them up, we can, right? But I don't think we've had any clarity yet on tariffs yet.
We have not yet. They just were very upfront with us about it and said, because it's going to be several months before we order the parts, we just don't know where things will stand at that but they would always take an additional order from us.
Yes, we'll take a look at it, see what makes sense on the fleet plan.
And the Penn Company, Coach and Equipment said they didn't think the tariffs would have any effect on pricing, but it was discussed in committee and put a contingency in anyway, just to cover ourselves.
It would almost seem that given that they all have to meet the Buy America standard, that there wouldn't be a whole lot of content that's sourced from outside the country, but that's a question for a different day.
Yeah, see, I don't know, like where the tariffs would be either too, yeah, just no clarity, stuff from north and whatnot, right?
Yes.
And things like that, so. Just hopefully Canada doesn't aggravate anybody in Washington and we should be right, so.
Like 70% has to be US content to begin with, so it's only 30% then, I would think that's subject to tariffs, right?
I think so.
So, Still an issue, but maybe not as big as the 10% we tacked on.
We already have a motion and a second on resolution 28, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's approved.
Okay. CDTA was awarded Innovative Transit Mobility Pilot Program funding for on-demand microtransit services. The funds support 100% of the project cost with no local match required. The total cost of the project is $1 million. New York State Department of Transportation requires CDTA board to a resolution prior to being reimbursed for expenses incurred as part of this agreement. We need a motion to approve executing an agreement with New York State DOT to accept $1 million in funding.
So moved.
Jackie and Georgie, thank you. Second. Thank you, Mike. Any questions, comments? Taking money from the state, love that.
Yeah.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's approved.
Great.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Oh my God. We'll move on to administrative items. Now that we're done with the spending spree, Trish Cooper provided a monthly management report for April. Mortgage tax receipts were over budget 31.4% due to Saratoga County. And customer affairs were 10.5% under budget for the year. Interest income was $310,000 over budget due to improved cash management and favorable interest rates. Wages were under budget by 5.4%, and workers' comp was over budget by 43.2% due to 2 lump sum payments. Professional services were 37.3% under budget due to the timing. And then non-financial performance report, Chris Desney gave a non-financial report for March. Fixed route ridership was up 5.6%. Star ridership was up 10%. On-time performance for fixed route service was 71.9%. On-time performance in Star increased to 77%. We missed 0.08% of all scheduled trips. There were 25 preventable accidents and 15 non-preventable accidents. And that is my report. Our next meeting will be on June 18th, right here and on Teams.
Peter?
Thank you.
We'll move on to Community and Stakeholder Relations Committee. David Stackbrough.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Community and Stakeholder Relations Committee met on May 22nd at 11:15 a.m. here at 110 Waterville Ave and via Microsoft Teams. Staff provided reports on seasonal services and the monthly earned media and community engagement report. John Scherzer provided an update on our seasonal service offerings, the Saratoga Summer Trolleys, Lake George Trolleys, Nature Buses, and service to Grafton Lake State Park will be returning for the summer season. The Lake George Trolley service kicked off on Memorial Day weekend and will run through October. This service connects Glens Falls, Queensbury, and Lake George Village with 2 routes. Last year, we hit nearly 92,000 rides between both lines. Our popular Nature Bus service also started Memorial Day weekend. This year marked our 5th year of service in Albany. This collaborative project with the Mohawk Hudson Land Conservancy connects thousands of people to natural places in and around Albany. The complimentary service will run for 20 Saturdays through October 4th. We will once again operate Saratoga Trolley service to support the Belmont Stakes from June 5th through the 8th. Service will be provided free of charge thanks to a partnership with NYRA and the Saratoga Casino Hotel. Regular summer trolley service will kick off on July 10th and run through September 1st. Jamie Caslow provided the earned media and community relations report. Last month, we earned 15 placements from television, newspaper, and radio with an estimated value of $17,000. Stories included CDTA's record ridership for fiscal year 2024, our new CEO Frank Anacaro joining the team, and shuttle service to support Albany's Tulip Festival. Looking ahead, we're participating in the annual Heart Walk and Pride Parade on June 8th, and we are gearing up for our annual Operator and Maintenance Rodeo on June 12th. Next meeting of the committee will be on Wednesday, June 18th at noon. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Dave. We'll move on to Strategic and Operational Planning Committee. Michelle.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Strategic and Operational Planning Committee met last Thursday, 12 p.m. here at 110 Waterloo Ave via Microsoft Teams. We have one consent agenda item for the board today, and that is the the sale of Uncle Sam parcels. In 2020, we were advancing a project that provided for a transit center at the corner of Fulton and 4th Street in Troy, next to the Uncle Sam parking garage. To facilitate this project, we acquired multiple parcels at that site. Since that time, we placed the project out to bid. Responses came in significantly over budget, and the garage itself was torn down and the land was auctioned off. A new developer has made a request to purchase the adjacent parcels from us. In March, we conducted an appraisal for the parcels, the value of which totaled $143,465. We need a motion to approve the negotiation and sale of the Uncle Sam parcels to the adjacent property owner.
Thank you, Denise. Second. Is there any agreement yet with the adjoining property owner at this point? Or is it kind of subject to this resolution, or?
The resolution helps. Jeremy's in the process of negotiating the details of the MOU. We wanted to actually get permission from the board to actually complete that process.
Okay.
So it's underway.
Okay. And it's just this one property owner, there's no others that are under consideration at all?
Correct, just the one. I think it was a condition of the city that they acquire our interest in order to develop it.
Yeah, just bringing it up because they're not mentioned in the resolution.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? All those in favor of the conveyance of the property say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved.
Okay. And we had one administrative discussion item, and that was an overview of our service status. Mike Williams provided an overview of our service levels from 2015 to present. We have always focused on a data-driven service design with guidance from the TDP. Bus rapid transit was a significant focus, as was universal access and expansion into 2 new counties. Between 2015 and 2020, service levels increased gradually as we focused on on-time performance and a Saratoga restructuring. 2020 brought temporary service reductions due to COVID. However, the last 5 years have brought several big-ticket expansions. These expansions drive challenges with maintaining operator headcount and keeping the budget in check. As we work with the board, we will seek to adjust service levels and coverage, adjust flex strategy, and improve scheduling and crewing procedures to help close these gaps. The next meeting of the committee will be June 18th at 12:45 p.m. here at 110 Waterloo Ave via Microsoft Teams. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions on that? We'll move on to the CEO report.
All right.
It's about time, right?
It's about time. So let me start out by, Mr. Chairman and the board, I thank you for the confidence you've invested in me as we begin this new era here. I want to thank the entire CDTA staff for the past 2 weeks. They've been very supportive, warm welcome, and really dealing with my 1,200 meetings that I've been popping on the calendar, so. Since I began here on May 12th, I'm sure you're not surprised that so far my observations and experiences here are that it's a quality organization with dedicated, amazing people working here in all areas, and there's many untapped resources here. I've spent the past 2 weeks visiting all the locations, I've made them all now, meeting with staff and work in almost every position, and getting to an understanding of the organization, its culture, and its capabilities. During this time, I was fortunate to participate walking in the CDPHP Workforce Challenge with the team, not jogging. I was able to attend the Albany Business Review's 40 Under 40. I didn't really qualify for that. That was good to meet some of the different leadership in the community there. Mike Collins and I joined board members Figueroa, Lance, and Stackrow at the APTA Legislative Conference last weekend. While we were there, we briefly met with our champion Chuck Schumer. He gave us some FaceTime, and we met with some staffers from Jill Brand's office and a staffer from Stefanik's office. So, our message was clear. Thank you for your support, but the surface transportation reauthorization bill is coming up next fall, and we need your help, right? So we got some cards, we have some doors we can kick on, and we're going to do that. On to performance, just to summarize. This past month, revenue and expenses were favorable. Ridership coming off a record-setting year had another strong April, almost 10% higher than the previous April. Operating stats, I would say, were solid with 99.02% trips completed. So really, the operating transportation team were really juggling it and providing quality service. On-time PMIs for maintenance were 99.5%, which is super critical. Fixed route OTP was about 72%, and star OTP was approximately 78%. More next month, but our customer experience survey in April, I was looking at about 78% customer satisfaction, which is higher than the previous survey, which I think was back in October 23. So some movement there, but still a lot of work to do. On to the good news, bad news. Budget and finance. The state budget was finalized with a 4.88% increase to STOA funding. Although we appreciate this and it's good news, the bad news is we budgeted for 9% this year. So we have some work to do. The entire team have met. We're finalizing strategies to balance this year's budget, a layered approach. It's going to include, though, this balance is going to include the vulnerabilities that we face into next year, and the next fiscal year, as the COVID reserves are also depleted. So, more to follow. We're going to brief this board and the committees next month, but financially and on the actual service plans. All right. Critical, though, to acknowledge these past procurements, how important it is that we, these procurements that many of these that we just approved, thank you, they're investments in our assets and our infrastructure, and these are essential to maintaining our core foundation of CDTA. So we have to continue to maintain those investments, and so this allow us to remain focused on balancing our operating expenses. I look forward to continue to work with you all and on these priorities. We're developing many priorities, initiatives, and we're going to see a lot of things in and around goals around here, working with this great team. So more to follow with this board. I do want to announce that Gary Guy will be the performance monitoring audit liaison, because Mike will be, as we know, taking on a new role of grandfather and retiree. But last but not least, I want to acknowledge Mike. Thank you for all your support, your guidance as I transitioned into this role. And I thank you on behalf of CDTA for your sound and steady leadership for the past over 4 months here. You really set some things in motion that really helped me. and are gonna help the organization. You'll always be a core of this agency's legacy, and you still have one more board meeting. That concludes my report, and if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you, Frank. Any questions for Frank? Any board member comments at this time?
As we face, as Carm used to say, the hill, the very steep hill, or the financial hill. And those who were at the performance monitoring meeting probably heard me say this, but I wanted to repeat it now. Given the challenges we're about to face, we gotta be creative and innovative, not just in our service cuts, but how we generate funding. And one of the things that sort of appeared or popped out to me was, we have the most extensive network, route network of any entity in the area, maybe police, fire have more. And when the topic of the AI, or the initiative of AI and how we could use it, it made me think of how many other entities in the area could use something like that. So I just encourage everyone to think outside the box as we move forward about how we leverage and monetize what we have already. And I bring this up because, we do the same. I work at a financial institution, we have 500,000 members. There are loans, there are, the interest rates, there are those things, but probably the most valuable thing we have are the 500 members. And I could go to Stewart's and say, hey, you want 500,000 members to come through your door? We can help you do that, and I think we should probably do something like that or think about that with respect to our system and our network and how others might be able to use it and maybe monetize it. I just, again, stepping back, just encourage everyone to be thoughtful and innovative and think outside the box, because it might be tough sledding for a little while.
Thank you.
Well said.
Anyone else? I do want to remind the board that we're having triple header committee meetings in June on Wednesday, the 18th. What time do they start?
11 a.m.
11 a.m. So you'll be getting another reminder on that, so hope everyone can make it to one or all of those meetings. Next board meeting is June 25th, Wednesday, here at 110 Waterville Avenue in Microsoft Teams. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Jackie, thank you. Second by Peter. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.